first Matrix film was absolutely amazing, and as they made more movies, the quality got worse and worse. But of course, they decided it was time to revive the Matrix franchise to milk it for all it's worth, and now they're releasing the new film Resurrection in just a few days. This movie has been highly anticipated, but critics so far are really mixed on it, and I know as a Matrix fan, I'm worried about it as well. I have a couple of different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So I have some articles I want to show off that talk about how mixed critics are right now about The Matrix. Again, there are a lot of people who are saying it's absolutely amazing, it's a great continuation, and there are others saying it's just not good. This is a Decider article. It says The Matrix Resurrections reviews are here, awe-inducing or exposition dump. The twists and turns of The Matrix Resurrections have enthralled some viewers while leaving others cold. The first reviews of the film rolled in on social media, a mixed bag of complete and total support versus hatred towards the convoluted mess. Whenever we hear about a movie being a potentially convoluted mess, I instantly get worried. I was already feeling very skeptical about Resurrections. Again, I like The Matrix, don't get me wrong, but do we need more Matrix movies? I don't know. I mean, I think the general plot sounds cool. It's 20 years later, Neo's forgotten Trinity and the life he knew, and Morpheus reopens his mind to the Matrix, but the devil's in the details, so if this script is woke or if they throw in tons of hidden meanings behind things, it's going to make this movie crash and burn. I'm going to give it a chance. I actually thought it was only releasing in theaters for some reason, but it's not. It's going on to HBO Max, and I will definitely be watching it release day. But it says, while we'll only be able to see it for ourselves beginning next week, from the comfort of our own homes on HBO Max, of course, thanks to early reviews, we can gauge that Lana Wachowski's new installment might be okay. As the movie's social media embargo lifted yesterday, critics rolled their opinions in all over Twitter, and here are a bunch of different tweets. Now again, it's a very mixed bag here. There are a lot of people saying, it's really good, it's a great continuation, it makes fans of The Matrix really happy, it's gonna be good if you like The Matrix, and then there's another side of reviewers saying it's just not good enough. Courtney Howard said The Matrix Resurrections is a terrific, awe-inducing meta-mind-bender completely in line with the franchise's legacy. Finds an innovative, high-concept way to frame the new story. Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss chemistry burns. Jessica Henwick is a revelation. Drew Taylor said The Matrix Resurrections is an unexpected delight. It's a sequel/reboot that is confident and complex, stuffed with new ideas and designs and creatures, unwilling to simply unspool what's come before. Like if Gremlins 2 had a $150 million budget and a lot of kung fu, what a ride. I'm gonna be honest, that doesn't make me want to see this movie. That doesn't draw me in. Gremlins 2, if it had a giant budget, lots of kung fu, to me, that's not a way to get me to watch a movie. That doesn't get me really excited. Maybe for other people it will. But they're saying it's an unexpected delight, which is good to hear. Emily Vanderwerf said, there was a point in the middle of The Matrix Resurrections where I briefly thought it was the best movie ever made, and I haven't convinced myself it's not. I loved it. A lot of people are gonna hate it. My favorite kind of movie. This makes me really, really worried. Because we have a reviewer who's saying a lot of people are going to love it, but a lot of people are also going to hate it. Meaning, it's already seeming like a divisive movie. It's already seeming like a movie that's going to be split down the middle. Maybe the critic reviews will be absolutely fantastic. Maybe audiences won't find it amazing. But one ongoing theme you're going to see here is all of the people saying they loved it are pretty woke critics. Critics that tend to give movies with a specific political leading higher scores than others. People who tend to kind of suck up to big companies and give big franchises great reviews. It's a little bit suspicious. But the next review says The Matrix Resurrections is an almost 2.5-hour exposition dump with choppy action scenes reminiscent of the Bourne movies. It reuses far too much footage from previous installments and is meta to a fault. So here we're starting to get into the negative reviews. They're basically saying it reuses too much footage. It's trying to draw you in. I think they're saying a little bit too much with that nostalgia. The action's choppy, the story's a little bit messy. And this is really where you start to get worried because, yes, obviously, they're going to have flashbacks. They're going to have those moments where Neo's remembering his past because, again, the story is he has forgotten his past. But when you overdo it, it makes you feel more like they only revived this franchise and put out this movie to get those nostalgia views. And obviously, companies want that to a certain extent, but if they expect to do more movies or have this movie stand on its own, you can only do that so much. Someone said, I have very complicated feelings about Resurrections. I'm not sure which movie it wants to be, an expanded world sequel or a story about a person being consumed by their own creation. One of those is an interesting idea, but it doesn't stick the landing on either. This is what I was worried about, that they were gonna go into this, they were gonna try to do too much, they were gonna try to make it this reboot and a sequel at the same time. They were gonna try to continue these character stories while also making the story new and unique. I was worried that they were going to do too much with this, and it really seems like they did. Again, I haven't seen it yet, and it's not out for a couple more days, and I am going to watch it when it comes out. But as a Matrix fan, I don't have a lot of confidence in this film right now. Now, going on over to Twitter, I wanted to read off this review posted by David Elric. Of course, he works with IndieWire. If you guys do not know who he is, he's a pretty big film critic, but he decided to compare this movie to one of the worst films to release in many years, The Last Jedi. He said The Matrix Resurrections, despite its infinite goofiness, is the boldest and most vividly personal Hollywood sequel since The Last Jedi. A silly and sincere galaxy brain take on reboot culture that makes peace with how modern blockbusters are now only about themselves. I hated The Last Jedi. As a lifelong Star Wars fan, The Last Jedi was a massive disappointment, and many other people agree with me. So when you bring up The Last Jedi in a review and you're trying to actually defend Resurrections and The Last Jedi, you're gonna face a lot of backlash and a lot of scrutiny for it, and of course he is. Lots of people saying The Last Jedi wasn't bold, it was lazy writing at its absolute apex. Nice try. And I agree, The Last Jedi wasn't bold, it wasn't unique, it wasn't a good take on anything. It just was so boring and lazy and just overall not a good movie. Somebody said, well, seeing as how Lana co-created The Matrix, I'm confident with a goofy, bold, and vividly personal sequel. But if you're saying Resurrection's script, tone, pacing, structure, choreography, or handling of legacy characters is akin to the bed of shit The Last Jedi was, I now fear the worst, and I agree. The Last Jedi was absolutely terrible, and I have a little bit of confidence because Lana did co-create The Matrix, but I also have a lot of worries for this film. I would love for this movie to be good, for it to be successful, but the writers are woke, the producers are woke, the director is woke, and the woke media keeps pushing it, talking about how it's a modern-day revival. There's just a lot of woke people behind this project, so I don't really have high hopes for it. I am going to watch it when it finally releases in a couple of days, but right now, it's very, very hit or miss with critics. There are a lot of people that like it, but there are also a lot of people who are saying it's just not good. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.